school, so the first name I hate, my mom, only unless you're mad at me, my mom, you call me Nicholas. I hated the word and name Nick. Scrivens is the majority of people, but then it just kind of shortened up because people get lazy. So it's just Scriv.
Scriv.
Yeah.
So this is Scriv.
Yeah.
Scriv, will you just preach to the people who you are and what the hell you're doing here while I get this this rod to turn off this air purifier so we can teach this bitch?
Thrown in the hot box. A Maryland boy, went to school in Philadelphia, lived in Brooklyn for 5 years, been in Frisco, Texas for 10 years. I'm here because the past year I've started a clothing brand with a good childhood friend called Fore Fathers, elevating dad apparel while celebrating the do-it-all dad. So everything that we do encompasses what it is to be a dad. You see in our designs, what I'm wearing right now is called Pop the Hood for all the mechanics and car dads out there. Brandon's wearing Fit Dad, or Dad Bod, excuse me.
Fit Dad.
Well, you are a fit dad, but the shirt is called Dad Bod, representation for all the dads out there. Let themselves go. Similar to myself, I am what they would put in a box and call a has-been athlete, and that's why my belly has outgrown my chest. But yeah, just really thankful and humbled to be here, to be just talking to you guys. So thanks for having me.
Of course.
That's awesome.
Forefathers.
I love it.
They have, just go to, you know what, I'll just drop it in here. Go to Shop Forefathers.
Drop a link.
It is, honestly, the shirts, the quality is one thing, the fit is another thing, the creativity is completely different, right? I mean, they have one shirt, Turf Dad, which is kind of their keystone at the moment.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's the one that's got the patterns that run through. It's got this cool...
Like Argyle.
It's got an Argyle pattern, and then you realize it stops right here, and the rest is just this cool color green. Then you see a little black thing right here, and it's a dude mowing his lawn. So he's got the nice little crosshatch.
Yes.
Guys in Texas don't understand that because the grass is blades of razor
Yeah.
down here. But back north, we have real grass that we can play in and not get,
And I will say that design has opened up a whole new world to me and everyone a part of Forefathers, is how passionate men and women can be about their lawns. It's this competitive nature that goes beyond sports, but yet of who you are and what you believe your yard should look like. It's been a remarkable response from that one design.
That's
and
awesome.
we're truly grateful for people buying it, and it's out of stock again for the third time. We're going to be restocking it before Father's Day, but again, just encompasses everything a good dad. It's people that take ownership, what it is, not only to be a good husband, because if you have kids, you know it's harder to be a good husband in times of having young kids than it is just being a good dad. But yeah, I think through COVID, we learned the importance of putting hammers to nails in your house, taking care of your lawn, taking care of your car, because you couldn't go anywhere. So therefore, you had to become a Swiss Army knife of a man.
That's awesome.
And Sean Ratz is coming in, need a dad bod and mechanic one. As a matter of fact, the one he's wearing right now, Sean Ratz, is just full of
These are in
the
stock.
check-engine
These
lights.
just got here. Yeah. So,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Check engine lights. Yeah.
We were going to call it
Right.
check engine.
Oh, shit.
I didn't get that name at first, but now we went Pop the Hood, because at the end of the day, what do your kids and wife always say when you're on traveling trips? Dad, just pop the hood, take a look at it. And it's been a remarkable response. But again, like Brandon said, the product is top notch, but it truly, we want to align to our customers and resonate what it means to be a dad. So just really thankful.
I have to say, you all have never seen me in a polo, because I gravitated away from polos because everyone had the Ralph Lauren, right type of polos, and I'm not a golf guy, so I don't wear golf shirts.
Yeah.
This I can get into.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at the site, I dropped the link. They've got one that's called it's Pizza Night. So it's all it's all like pizza and it's subtle in the attention. I just call it the subtle swag because it's in there. And there's one that's date night that I wear when I take Alessi on a date. So it's got like little martinis on there. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't get into it. You need to make a cigar one.
Yeah, no, cigar and whiskey, I mean, they're all in the queue.
Yes,
but
yes.
again, what you guys are describing is exactly our mission of, we didn't want to golf just to be represented on a golf course. We wanted to become universal. Going back to the COVID aspect of things, of how isolated we've been, we are on Zoom calls. We're on podcasts now. But you want to take your wife on a date. You want to be around your friends. And at the end of the day, wearing athletic gear shouldn't just be applied to sports, but all around the house. Now, people ask me, have you ever worn Turf Dad mowing? And the answer is yes. Now, did that happen on purpose? No. It was because I came from the golf course and I was like, shit, my lawn just needs to get mowed, so I didn't sweat. So it took a while to get to where we are of building a confident product, but we're just really enthusiastic and passionate about what we do.
Love it.
So, have you tried the whiskey?
It's incredible.
This is from the Whiskey Blendery. This is hands down the best whiskey I've ever had.
It's really good.
The story behind this, and I'm going to butcher some of the details, but from what I remember of our connection, this Whiskey Blendery just opened up in Oak Point, just near us, about 15, 20 minutes from us, about 5 minutes from my house. You can create your own blend directly from the barrels. But this particular, you'll notice on here it says 30. There are 30 bottles that exist of this. And somebody created their own mash bill, they created their own whiskey, and then started the process, switched the mash bill to something else, then they put it in the barrel. A couple years later, they realized it wasn't a Calvin barrel, so they wanted to move it. So after 2 years of age, they moved it to another barrel. So this has 2 mash bills and 2 different barrels it's been in. In the meantime, they lost the mash bill recipe. And so this, when they figured out they lost the recipe and the whole process, they got rid of it. I don't want it. I can't do any more of it. I'm done with this. And so they just completely gave it up. That's where Tim, the owner of this Whiskey Blendery, picked it up. 30 bottles will exist. And I'm glad to have one of them.
Can I say something really quick? I'm a Maryland guy, and Maryland has an enormous amount of state pride. State pride, born and raised. If you look at our university, Under Armour is the vendor of choice that our football jerseys have in Maryland. But you got to show the barcode on this.
Oh, barcode, state of Texas.
It's the state of Texas. Texas kind of just outdoes everybody just a little bit more.
Always find it.
It's got like this. It's got vanilla on it. It's got everything changes when it opens.
What's the proof? Because
it's 113.
I like high proof. Yeah.
I think it's 113, right?
113.6.
But it doesn't drink like it. It drinks really nice.
It is really good.
I've never been excited. Last night was the first aha moment when it comes to whiskey for me. Holy shit. I see this from cigars. Someone have that aha moment.
And you're not a big bourbon guy.
No. Yeah. No, I could give 2 shits about it, right? But I'm sitting there and I know it's $125 bottle and I'm sitting there. I've never spent more than 70 on anything, like I was saying.
Yeah.
And I just said, can I buy this? And thankfully this Tim gentleman, he just gave it to us.
That's awesome.
Whiskey Blendery, this is, so I suppose
we need to do stuff with those guys.
We will do stuff.
Yeah.
They are top notch.
Yeah.
Top notch.
And then I was telling Brandon earlier, his best friend is Nick with Cubans.
Oh, okay.
And so
perfect tie-in.
Good connection.
So
perfect.
This Nick with Cubans has guns that have parts of mammoth tooth on them. I mean, this is like cartel leader shit that they're making.
Mammoth tooth, and then
meteorite.
Meteorite. It's.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. The grips are made of just like exotic stuff that you would never think of ever being in a gun.
Mammoth.
Yeah. But of course, you're talking 12,000 starting for the 1911. But yeah.
But you said it was 125. I'm just curious because you also said you could mix your blend. Basically, does it price and fluctuate based on what you're blending?
It doesn't. It's just a flat rate, but you can use 23-year-old whiskey. You can. It's all MGB stuff. It's all just top tier, crazy cool stuff. Predominantly Kentucky whiskey. It's a unique experience for sure. So I'm looking forward to doing a little outing out there. We've got some comments coming in. If you have questions, please toss them in. We'll be happy to address anything. It looks like Sean Ratz is giving some marriage advice to Zach Patterson because Zach Patterson's wife said he had $80 to spend on cigars. Sean Ratz said my soon-to-be ex-wife tried that, didn't work. So we'll see where this goes.
That's about what Sean pays in sales tax about every month on his cigars.
Yeah, thank God Sean Ratz is working on 928s because they got some problems on them.
Yeah.
They got some problems on them. But thank you everyone who's coming in and joining us this evening. Cigar Talk Live. What's
Yeah,
up,
if you're
Pops?
coming, let us know where you're coming from. I saw Kevin Amick in. I know he's coming in from Georgia. Of course, Larry and Julie are coming in from LaGrange, Missouri. Zach is coming to us from
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Any
So-
Maryland folks out there?
Do we have the internet?
I would love to see a Maryland folk just throw up the 301 really quick.
Oh, you should just share this. You should just hop on your Facebook and share this out.
Yeah.
Will you
They have
check
the
with-
internet in Maryland?
Yeah,
Okay.
we got the internet, you know?
Okay, good.
Yeah, some crabs
from-
and internet.
Yeah, crabs and internet.
And
And
football.
football.
Right? That's,
We're not really good at football, which is kind of ironic. And Wedding Crashers said that, but you know, hopefully we'll get those recruits. You know, they passed up
Yeah.
on me 10 years ago.
Yeah, well,
could you believe it?
yes, I actually could. Yeah, that was a smart move by them.
We've picked a bad couple of decades to be Husker fans too, so
Ride
we
or
feel
die.
your pain.
We ride or die.
Ride or die, exactly.
But the coach wins the Heisman, goes to UCF, right? Frost.
He didn't
Frost.
win the Heisman.
He did
Crouch
not.
won the Heisman.
Crouch
but
won the Heisman.
He also wore number 7.
And he has not McSwirly, one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen a spiral thrown. He blows out his knee, goes to Florida State, he comes to Nebraska, and everybody has these high hopes. And
It's going the right direction.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
They
you guys
were
have probably been saying that for the
very-
last 2 decades.
No, they were very close last
Because with Ohio State, I mean, in Norman at Oklahoma, we lost by 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's we're losing by like.
They lost
a
9.
point.
They won 3 games, lost 9, and the only time in the history of college football it was all by single digits.
Really?
So it was 3 to 6 points against Ohio State, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Iowa, all of them. So
What the hell with Iowa?
Well, let me ask you a question. As not a Nebraska fan or no skin in the game, I don't mind it. Does the uniform have to change, or does the uniform have to stay the same? I know
It
there's
hasn't changed for 400 years.
forever.
now Adidas does try to do some crazy things, color scheme wise.
Every
Helmet
single
wise.
game that we use alternate jerseys, we lose.
Yep. Just go back to. They should just wear some 1972 uniforms. They're all shrunk and shit. But who cares?
Did you pay, Adrian? I never asked you about football. Were you more of a soccer guy over there in El Paso?
No, martial arts.
Oh,
Martial arts was my thing, and never football. Yeah, that was the only sport that I did. Yeah.
what martial arts?
Taekwondo, Shotokan.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
From age 5 to, and then I started dojo when I got my black belt at 17. I'd ride my bike to. We talked about this. I'd ride my bike to the aerobics studios, which was big in the 80s, and the ladies would do aerobics while the kids were being babysat, and I would start a martial arts class with the kids and charge them, whatever fee instead of the babysitting.
really?
Yeah,
I
ride
never
my
knew
bike.
that.
Yeah.
I just must not have been paying attention when you talked about that
Yeah,
unique
it's all right,
story
yeah.
there. Whoa, that's kick-ass.
Yeah.
I mean, no pun intended, but yeah, that's really cool. That's really, really cool.
All these months we've been doing this, we just find out he's a kung fu guy.
Yeah.
3rd degree black belt, yeah. For about
But could
25
you
years.
do a roundhouse kick right now?
Yeah.
He's got them Chuck Norris boots on.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I pull a muscle, then I pull it.
After you do the roundhouse
Yeah,
kick.
yeah. Oh, shit.
On the land.
Yeah, fuck that.
Sam
Yeah.
coming in, just got back from Arkansas. What's up, Sam? How's that happening? I'm curious if he could maybe, Sam, if you're watching, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a little bit of a scientific quiz here,
There you go.
because I'm feeling quite quantum at this time. So maybe you could just throw out a question that us, quantums we can figure it out ourselves
Yeah.
and just tell you.
Well, as you guys know, with one of the big 3, I did a lot of research this week.
You've
So
been- yeah.
You've been
I
on a
provide.
kick.
You've been throwing the
Provide.
knowledge, yeah.
I've been throwing a lot of knowledge out there, you guys, to get you from a 0 to a 1.
Have Do you feel nervous about the big three yet? Have
I
I beat that into you yet enough?
I'm only nervous when I have to wake up and take care of my kid. Everything else,
Oh,
I'm
this
good.
is way harder
I'm
than that.
Yeah, way hard.
This is way
I'm always
worse.
like, what kind of kid am I going to get this morning? I'm like, I'm not in the mood.
Oh, but here's the difference: is the kid's not going to judge you.
Yeah.
Everyone watching is going to judge you. on this
We're
one.
not. This is a good community. We're not judging.
Oh, you'll be judged.
We're
Yeah.
just pointing fingers. Pointing fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So you've been smoking cigars for a bit. What are you picking up? We're smoking a Cochon Blanc right now.
All of us are.
We all. Oh yeah. There's a lot.
Because it's just too damn good.
What are you getting from this? What is your experience from a cigar perspective when you're smoking this particular thing?
So, full transparency, I wish I would have participated in the 101 classes, although I do smoke a ton of cigars based in the groups that I'm associated with. This is just a damn good cigar just to chill on. And it's funny because I say that about all the cigars until I had a true chill cigar. It was funny how you guys were educating me on how to smoke it prior to jumping on the show,
Yeah.
like a slow pull. And again, that terminology or that adjective just was not anything that I was accustomed to before. But now I understand of keeping the smoke in, tasting the flavor. Even although there's other cigars, I can tell you the taste, the smell. This is just enjoyable. Where I don't feel like for how big it is, I'm being bullied or punched in the face.
Right,
I feel like I'm very relaxed and kind of on vacation, to be honest.
It's a good cigar inside. It's a good cigar outside. And we throw around here a lot of crazy things. Who's your top 3 favorite musicians? Who's the top 3? Well, the one that comes up is, what's your desert island cigar? What cigar would you want to smoke forever? This is the one. That does it.
William. Yeah. Oh, we will absolutely judge the crap out of the big three. Also, we've got Sam Finnell coming in asking, I think an incorrect a question here. He's asking what the Chandra Sakara limit is, but he actually spelled it in 2 words where it should be 1 word.
Judge that dude. Can't even spell.
Can't spell Chandra Sakara.
Quantum physicist.
Yeah, quantum physicist. What an idiot. You know what the limit is? You guys know what the Chandra Sakara limit is?
I'm about to
7. I think it was 7 last I checked.
It's about 1.44 solar masses. Just in case, you know.
It all depends on. Hey, it all depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some guys say 7. I don't know.
Sam, will you ask us a question in English, please?
What is
Because
it, 2020 or 2040, whatever it takes?
Yeah, 210, 212, whatever you need.
So I got a question going back to that whole newbie thing. If I was in a store, right, this cigar would instantly look intimidating to a guy like me who's trying for like a 30, 45-minute smoke, yet this is very abrupt. It's big. It's a big cigar. I'm like, I probably couldn't handle that. But while smoking it, I'm like, I hope this never ends.
Yeah.
Are there different circumferences of way you analyze and review cigars, and you understand how long the smoke is, the flavor?
It's really tough because
It is tough.
there's a wrapper that's on the outside. That's about 50% of the flavor. There's a binder that's typically kind of an uglier piece of tobacco, but it's a little bit firmer, that holds everything together, and then there's filler inside, but they're all long leaf fillers. But the binder is really what controls the combustion rate. So depending on the binder that's in the cigar will determine how quickly that cigar will smoke. We have some cigar, I have a cigar in the humidor that's that size, maybe a little bit longer, but it's 100%, the tobacco is 100% from Peru. And that cigar would take you an hour and 20 minutes to smoke. It just doesn't go anywhere. It burns super slow. So some cigars burn faster than others. Our cigar, our house cigar, it's called The House, actually uses a wrapper as the binder. So it has a wrapper and then another wrapper. So it actually burns relatively quick because it doesn't have that slow burning binder that's controlling the pace that cigar is going to burn. So you can't really go just by size.
Yeah, but your mindset is right.
To all the women out there too. How about that? Yeah.
So watch my wife's show on Thursday. It's called Size Matters.
But your mindset is right. If you go to any run-of-the-mill lounge, it is it's right to bypass the larger, what we call ring gauges, or the larger circumference of it. Generally speaking, if you just have this big monster of a cigar, they're just getting the subpar tobacco, get it, sell it for cheap, get it out. It's like, that is, Chandra, we are also doing a Cochon Blanc, but this is an anomaly. This particular cigar is probably in, I don't know, 10 lounges in the United States. It's a very rare cigar. And so this does definitely break the mold. But you're right. I mean, the whole concept between different ring gauges is you have this spectrum of flavor intensity and let's call it nicotine intensity or strength. As you get to a smaller ring gauge, you get a lot of flavor from out here. Smaller ring gauge, less dilution, a lot of flavor. As you start blowing that size up, you're starting to dilute that with the filler tobaccos inside. So you're getting less intensity of flavor, so you add a bit of strength, Ligero, you add a little bit of strength tobacco in there to give you the sensation of flavor. So as you have this kind of cross of less intense flavor, you get a little bit more intensity or strength to make up for it.
Now, the way you described that was amazing. Has anyone associated a scale based on the currency? A penny, a dime, a nickel, a quarter, so you could learn the circumference of a cigar and associate it with the strength, the tobacco, the time smoked, or is that kind of out the window of your mind?
There are industry standard cigar sizes. So most every manufacturer makes a cigar called a Corona. Most everyone makes a Robusto. Most everyone that's a common size, ring diameter, and length. But it's these various tobaccos that will control it. And tobacco is like beef. There's cheap ass beef and there's prime. So if you have a company that's mass producing cigars, they're basically filling big orders and they're doing it with whatever tobacco they can get enough of. There's not enough of the best, so that it's typically going to be a shorter run. Most of the shops that you go to, they wouldn't know the difference, so they're just going to sell you a name brand and get you on your way. But that's where the education aspect of it comes in. But you can have two cigars that are the exact same size from two different manufacturers, different grades of tobacco that will burn at a different rate.
Yeah.
The key is too, if you have a cigar that's really well constructed, like this cigar, I can hold it right here, it's not warm. A lot of cigars will be real spongy, soft, it burns wonky, but this is nice and cool. So I could sit outside with this and just sit and talk and come back to it 5 minutes later, it's still lit. It's still going. You're not constantly relighting and starting all over again. So it's that quality will also keep the cigar cruising. But if you go a long period of time, this is the tip of the Dave. When you pick up a cigar after you haven't smoked it for a bit, just give it a push.
And for those of you who are just watching, we're gonna lose you for a second,
and then come back up.
I'm gonna switch over our. We're dropping frames, so I'm gonna switch Wi-Fi networks. We're gonna lose you for just a second, but don't sweat it. We'll be right back. So I'll just swap this over. So it's interesting because
no doubt.
and you can touch right up to the edge, and
it doesn't even crack.
No, you're fine. You can hold this, and there's no problem. We should be back here. So, the only challenge is a penny is worth a penny. A nickel is worth a nickel, and it doesn't change. But tobacco is just always changing. So you don't know a cigar how quick it's going to smoke straight off the bus versus a year from now. It's going to burn different speeds, really. Actually,
If we could still go down the education route for a second.
Sure.
One of my first jobs in New York City, I was at a wine retail shop, and I learned a tremendous amount about wine. We actually became like a entry-level sommelier, and it has the concept of a bottle being corked. So therefore, after production, it goes to the restaurant, you pop it, and it's just shit. Any type of example like that in a cigar, like where you smoke and you're just like, ugh, like.
AD, what do you think?
I mean, there probably are. I can't think of any specific examples. necessarily, but age is a cigar's friend,
No doubt.
for sure.
The tobacco in a cigar is a friend, or it rolled up, stored correctly.
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-aged, because tobacco is fermented.
Yeah.
So they stack it in basically a very organized compost pile. That chemical reaction starts to break down. The enzymes, the bacteria, and the yeast start breaking down that tobacco. It starts to naturally heat. It'll actually get up to about 112 degrees before you want to start. Actually, at some point you want to pull it off at 98 degrees. They pull it off. They rotate the tobacco. There's a lot of work that gets done. But at about that 12-month point, that tobacco is kicking off straight ammonia. I mean, if you smell it, it's tough. But it ages itself out. But if you can get a cigar where you've got something that's got 4 and 5 year old tobacco, it's way past that fermentation, that 6th stage, and now it's letting each leaf do what it does. So really the leaves that are available are very much like if somebody was a cook and using different spices. There's some wrapper that has a tendency to be peppery. There's some that has a tendency to be oily, that leaves a heavy, oily impact on your palate. This is just creamy, cedary, nutty, smooth, but they didn't use those ingredients that cause the pepper. And a lot of times if you have a shitty piece of meat, you can throw a whole bunch of salt and pepper on it and trick your mind into thinking it's okay, but there's still nothing going on. When you use really good tobacco, you don't have to put that tobacco in it to trick you into thinking it's just naturally good. So,
Yeah, and it's from a corked wine perspective. We have some people who, I'll ask, hey, do you want me to cut your cigar? They say, well, I'm not going to smoke it for, a couple days. Is it going to still be okay? Yeah, no problem. You're actually letting it breathe some more. So if you cut it, there's no worries. You're not going to do any damage. I mean, aside from if you leave it out of the cellophane and it does get banged up, you're in a little bit more danger. But yeah, time's your friend. Time's your friend. There's no issue with it.
we have cigars in humidor that are over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Really?
We have some cigars, pre-embargo Cubans, that were made in 1917. And we've smoked cigars that were from 1880.
1870. Yeah.
Whole nother level. We smoked them back here, and it was the quietest this lounge has ever been. Because we just sit.
Until people are burning their fingers because they're trying to smoke the last leaf.
Without a doubt. But after you fire it up, that's the same as corking.
Yeah.
And probably about the same time. If you fire it up and you leave it, and then you want to come back to it, best thing is just cut past anything that's charred up and then start it back up. It's still going to be, if it's the next day, it's going to be stagnant. It's going to be, you're going to have to work through it for a second. Just when you're done, walk from it.
Close your eyes.
Just walk away.
Yeah.
Move on to the next.
Got another one. Let's get a new cigar.
Just get a new cigar. Yeah, I agree. Let's hop into one. I'm really curious what Scrib has to say on some of these questions.
Sorry, I was late again. My bad.
You're perfectly fine.
We've been talking.
I was gonna say.
So can I give you a cigar
Absolutely.
101 thing here?
Yeah.
So when you do this, roll the ash.
And light it again. Like start from
Light
go
it.
back to the whole concept of cutting it.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, see, we got it a little higher here.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is just kind of hit that first. So that, see how we got that line right there? And then I basically just want to hit that outer edge. And
Not
now
the center.
Yeah, otherwise all you're doing is lighting ash, and the ash has already been burnt. So you won't get a good burn on that. But now you're back out there on the edges. And this area where it started to run a little bit, if you roll that cigar around, you'll see now it's caught up. So by the time that goes down a little bit and you ash it, you're going to be back to square.
This Koshan is so good.
Hopefully there are other 101s out there that can add some comments and maybe not
Ask-
making me look
ask
like
some
the
questions.
asshole.
Please make Scrib not an asshole. Ask a question,
Yeah.
please.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Yeah.
And that's what's funny. Like I told you guys earlier, I do smoke cigars, and I do enjoy cigars by myself, amongst friends and family, out on the golf course, on patios. I remember one of the first times I actually had like true hand rolled was in Mexico when I got married, and they just hit differently, but just it resembles the experience of wine. What it brings is it's it's not necessarily about the wine itself, but it's the experience among the environment you're in, and and how you remember it. I know there's people out there who probably take pictures or save the labels and whatnot. I'm too dumb to remember how things are spelled or names, but I do remember where I was and how, and I'd be like, oh wait, that cigar was really good. And then I'll just text a buddy and be like, hey, what was that cigar we were doing? Because it was all about what I remembered from the experience having it.
Our sub brand is on the back of our bags. When somebody buys something, we give them a bigger bag, but on the back of it, and this was a saying that I had said to Brandon early on. We climbed this little hill, I guess, 600 foot or something, and looked out over the bay in Cabo, and sun was coming up, and it was an incredible thing. And I made this comment, which stuck, which was, I may have had a better cigar, but I've never had a cigar in a better place. And that's what we wanted to build here at ICC, is a place that people can go, the cigar was great, I may have had a better one, but man, this was the place. So it's about that. It's the cigar culture, it's the lifestyle, it's all of the things that this contributes to. The fact that this does things to us chemically that causes us to relax and lowers our blood pressure and lets you get your mind right. There's all those pluses. I mean, there's been times back when I was raising a bunch of money in the oil business, and I come home, my wife would go, how about you go get a cigar? Because she just saw it. The look was on my face. It was, how about you just go get a cigar? So that's...
Zach Patterson stepping up. Zach Patterson stepping up. So I've seen discussions about this, and I have my own opinions on the matter, but what's the difference between a box press cigar and a traditional round cigar, which we call
Great question.
Parejo? Yeah. Please type in what your impressions are as we also kind of dive into this.
Wait, which one's a box from a round?
A box press versus a round. Round cigar is called a Parejo.
Thank you, Zach. Not for being the only one out here.
No, and it's a really good question. I'm curious if his question has to do with preference or what. I mean, I could talk about the mechanics, the difference, and why somebody would do that versus a Parejo. But you guys, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll tell you from a layman's perspective, I enjoy both, round versus box press. I enjoy box press because I'm what you call a biter, and when you bite a box press, it just feels right.
Yeah. Right? It fits better.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The other thing is if you take 100 cigars that are round and you light each one of them and smoke them, there's a high chance that 10, 20, 30% of those may have performance issues. Performance being, how does it draw? Does it burn evenly? But odds are a box press, because it's slightly underfilled, a box press is going to draw perfect almost every time.
Yeah.
You just very rarely will get a box press cigar that doesn't draw. You don't want to have a cigar that's like sucking a milkshake through a cocktail straw. You don't want to have to fight that. Yeah. And that's where a box press cigar will 9 times out of 10 help prevent that.
Well, and Zach says, I like the box press. I feel like it has better airflow and better draw, burns more evenly. Okay, so that actually lends itself to the mechanics in and of itself. And actually, Zach, as I see what you're smoking, which is a New World from AJ, if that's kind of what you're smoking, or these kind of factories, especially in New World, they're just getting those out as many as they can.
Yeah.
It's a quality issue, and truly, the question is, at scale, why would you do a box press? It's pretty simple. Box press is a cool style. It's a little bit different. It's a differentiator. But ultimately, you use less tobacco in a box press. You use less because you're literally going to press that down. So when you use less, Zach, you're exactly right. You are going to have naturally better airflow because there's less tobacco in there. And if you give rollers, especially entry-level rollers, less tobacco to work with, their chances of messing it up and overfilling or bunching in the wrong place is diminished. So it basically throws some training wheels on the cigar itself.
And essentially, that cigar, the box press will start off round, right? And then the box pressing will create the box press.
You're exactly right. Okay. I mean, they will legitimately afterwards press them into the box.
What's interesting is a lot of people think Cuban cigars are box pressed, and they're really not box pressed, but they pack round cigars in so tight in a box of 25 that they naturally press into a box.
It's called a Cuban box press. So
Cuban
if you
box
see
press.
the Crux box press on the Limitada, it's a soft box press. What Nicaragua and our manufacturers do, it would just be called a soft box press or a Cuban box press because it naturally creates that.
Yeah.
So it's if you're looking for Cubans, look for a box press because they've used less tobacco, so your failure rate is going to be less.
And the average newbie, if they know anything, they can know nothing. But if they know anything, they know that, man, that cigar had a good draw.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that to them is what makes an impact because they've had a shitty cigar that didn't draw.
And it's good. You smoke on the course
All the time.
Great thing with the box press is you can leave it on the cart.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And it's like a roll away.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that they can roll box without like a sushi thing where they're manually revving it? It's actually just compression.
Correct.
They're using with their fingers.
Yeah.
Yep. No, they're not box pressing with their fingers. They're box pressing with a flat tray system that they actually winch down. So it's
that's
actually a
just
tray.
great.
It's like a mold.
Yep. It's after the mold.
Honestly, before we had this conversation, I thought every box press was automated from a machine that tightly rolled it into a certain plate, pressed it, put it in the box, and that was it. Because how in the world could that have happened?
Yep. Just lazy.
No, they
Less tobacco.
underfill a round cigar, and then they'll take they'll press it in a press to get that shape, and then once they have that square press. So you're taking that round cigar and you're square pressing. There's a hexagon press one that Plasencia has that is a hexagon.
And they're fully confident that the wrap won't crack when they compress it.
No, because it's before they put the wrapper on.
before they
So they only put wrappers. If you've ever seen somebody rolling a cigar at like a party or whatever, they're taking cigars that have already been in the press and then applying the wrapper. So they're generally going to, actually 100% of the time, they're taking up to the binder, which is just the ugly cousin of the wrapper, and they're going to apply wrappers on complete cigars, and then it's just a little finisher.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
That's
it's
cool.
completely done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Rats. Have a great evening to you as well. Let's get to it. Adrian, you take number one.
Yeah. So I think there's 4 questions now.
it is 4 questions.
You
now.
should be nervous.
Everybody, put your judgment hat on.
Yeah, go ahead. Where's my man Zach Patterson? You better be calm, man.
Yeah.
Oliver just jumped in.
What's up, Bob? Oh, Kevin Amick just had the Epicure this evening. Very good. I smoked that earlier today.
That's a great.
Before we get into this, like, are all 4 questions like in different categories?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally different, but we're still judging. You're gonna be judged.
So each one's its own. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
First question. I'll start off with probably my favorite. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Do I believe in Bigfoot?
Do you believe
Now,
Does he exist?
I will tell you a true story where
Yes.
This is what we live for. This.
So they probably can't see through the videos that we all have and through transmitting on Facebook Live and all the ones that you guys are doing. But I'm a really hairy guy.
Okay.
Like I'm the type. I'm the type of guy. Like I had my mom shave my back when I was like 14 years old in high school.
You shaved right before this.
I shaved my neck. I shaved my neck. My wife does it now. I've had all my college roommates do it. So somebody might call me Bigfoot. And some might call. I'm not 6'8" or 7 feet tall. But I could be disguised.
He's got hairy biceps.
I'm telling you, if you do a Bigfoot silhouette shirt,
I could.
we could sell that.
I could brand it myself, and it's been a hell of a journey of 35 beautiful years of a lot of comments. And true fact, back in growing up when I was going to the beach, I used to shave a heart into my chest when I was going to the beach. It's a true story. I swear to God. Do I believe in Bigfoot?
On a scale of 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
1 to 10. Oh, well, it's definitely at least a 1. I would give it some creature out there. Like there are some weird. I mean, if you've been around the block, there are some goblins walking this earth. Like, and I'm talking about the humankind that just like want to live in the woods, and then they just turn out to be something that the woods adopt. it's almost back. I can't remember the Swamp Man back in the day.
Yep.
But does Bigfoot? There's definitely a hairy beast. Like I don't think he swaps out like little children or like hunters. Like I do think there's a creature walking this earth that could be confused in photos from afar. Like yeah, that was Bigfoot. Like right there, absolutely. But back to tobacco and the beef jerky did a phenomenal job of marketing.
Yes.
That was unbelievable. We laugh our asses off every time. So I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3 just because you gotta have hope. You gotta have hope that there is Bigfoot out there.
Hear that, Adrian? You gotta have hope.
You gotta have hope.
He's a zero.
He's a zero.
You gotta give it something.
Now we have an actual Sasquatch hunter here, one of our members that swears by it.
That is awesome.
So we want to get him up to this area in Oklahoma, and him loaded with all of his firearms. And we're going to shoot that bastard, and we're going to stuff it and mount it right in the lobby.
Have you ever been to Brazil?
No.
Okay, you ever flown over like the Amazon? Like there's a lot of shit. Like, I mean, there's just a lot of things going on in the Amazon.
I get it.
I mean, people these days, especially like. You know, we're trying to figure out which avenue we reside in. Like, think about animals. Like, like you walk around like a deer, and then a bear, and then a bear hits a tiger. Like, you know, throughout the years, something could be formed.
We've never heard the Amazon idea.
Yeah.
That's true. But what Mark's property is typically, I mean, it's very much like the Amazon.
Yeah,
It's very much.
it's
very
a lot of trees.
Yeah, a lot of trees. And Mark, if you ever get to meet him, he'll swear that he's heard him. He's got recordings, really not videos, but
My 3's going up right now. I just love that.
A cigar?
You would trust it. If you sit down and drink tequila with Mark, you will be a believer.
Yeah, he's gonna be a 6 the next time. We are setting up a time for you to sit with Mark. For sure. For sure.
I mean, how big he is.
Oliver's just trolling. He's trolling.
No, Oliver speaks truth.
He's trolling.
We can't be the only ones in the woods eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
No. And you know what Mark bought, right? He's a bear hunter as well. He's got property in Oklahoma, and he buys big vats of probably peanut butter. Anything sweet. Anything sweet, and he'll throw it out there to bear hunt.
He bought 1,000 pounds of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. One. He had my son Nate, who's he could be Bigfoot.
Nate is a bald Bigfoot.
Nate is a human Bigfoot, and so Mark calls him and says, "Hey, I can't move this big freaking barrel of peanut butter. Can you come and help me?" So he goes up, and Nate picks the thing up and puts it in his truck. And then when he came home, he's like, "God damn, I'm getting weak." He said it was only 300 pounds. I can't believe how freaking heavy that thing was. So then Mark weighed it, called him back later, goes, "Hey, I weighed that. It's 500 pounds."
My Sasquatch brother picked up a 500-pound barrel by himself and just lifted it into a truck.
Yeah.
Exhibit A, Adrian.
Exhibit
A.
Yeah.
He's not hairy. He's not hairy though.
So he isn't hairy, but it does, I mean, if that's one of the things, I could shave Scrib over here. I could get you believing in Bigfoot.
I could loan a few hairs. I'm telling you.
He's pretty squatchy.
Yeah.
Nate never really power lifted. And when he went to do shot put and discus at his school, day 1 sets the deadlift record. It was like 685 the first time he's ever done.
Deadlift?
Yeah, deadlift, 685, all back, just big footy.
Did you all hear the story when he met Baptiste?
No.
So Baptiste, he's a French guy from France. He was here this past week. He's a power lifter. He toured the world doing a bench press contest. And someone asked him, it was the day of the event that we had, the range day. He met him, and then someone asked him, "Hey Nate, what's your bench press most ever?" And then I think he may have said like 540.
That sounds
Does that
about
sound
right.
right?
Yeah, that sounds about
Baptiste
right.
was at 545.
What?
So a guy who does this his whole life, and then Nathan.
Yeah, I know Nate did.
Yeah.
He did multiple reps of squats at 605.
What?
Yeah.
I believe it.
There's like a 1,000-pound club where you do deadlift, bench press.
They all did that
Like
in
that-
high school.
yeah,
and
that's
they did like 1,200 pounds.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They all, in fact, I had heard about it from a friend of mine down here, and I told the boys, and they got in the car and went to the gym and did it, like right then. And they did whatever was it 3 or 4 exercises?
It's squat,
Yeah.
deadlift, and bench.
Bench, yeah.
And they did it like
Oh.
1,200 pounds.
Oh no.
It's like you're on like
It was
records
crazy.
and like, oh my god.
No, he still is. I think he still holds the record at his college. Day one. Ooh.
Oh, and for the record, my 3, I also want to associate that Bigfoot is a friendly dude, just misunderstood, all right?
Yeah.
So again, he's not this like goblin out there. He's just like, yo,
Right.
I'm really like confusing to the rest of the world. I just hide in the woods because I don't want to scare them.
Have you ever seen Strange Wilderness?
No.
As a kid,
Watch that tonight.
tonight.
Watch that tonight.
Strange Wilderness.
I sense his
He's very cooker.
his personality would love that show.
Oh, I can't believe you haven't seen Strange Wilderness.
I thought you were going to say Stranger Things, and I'm like, oh, there's
No,
another one.
Strange
No.
Wilderness. It's an older movie. It's probably 12 years old, something like
More
that.
than
But you
that.
gotta watch
All
it.
right,
It is.
I'll write that down. Yeah.
I promise you, it will be. If you take anything away from your experience here,
taking a lot.
Strange Wilderness will be your new favorite movie.
And that goes for all you guys out there. If you haven't watched Strange Wilderness, and know that one of the big 3s, or big 4s here is Sasquatch.
I'll drop the trailer. I'll drop the trailer in the comments. It will be. Strange
I may have
Wilderness.
missed it, but Zach is saying your Sasquatch impression is impressive.
Yeah, because he's my brother.
You were impersonating Nate, not Sasquatch.
No, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I mean,
you were.
where are you sitting now, Scrib? And
I don't know.
So
The story is compelling.
and now here's one other thing that just shows you how Bigfoot is threaded through my family. Is all 3 of my kids, when they walked across the stage in college when they got their diplomas, they all did the Sasquatch walk down the deal. They all walked and then stopped and did the thing and then kept on walking.
I mean, but you guys are big guys. Like,
but
you guys are big men.
We're,
like just big
but we're
men.
pretty average Nebraskans, though.
That might
Yeah,
be true.
I mean, we're pretty average
Texans.
Nebraskans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're above height, but the kids. I mean, the tackle that I played next to was. I mean, when we took our high school team in Nebraska, it was our line average was like 60 pounds more than the Husker team that won the national championship in the 70s.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah, it was like, the guy who was next to me was 6'8", 315 with a 30-inch vertical.
Well, I think that's like consistent too. Like all the Big Ten offensive lines are like bigger than the average NFL offensive lines. Just like, where are these boys from?
That's all corn fed and finished. Yeah.
We don't lift weights. We lift trees.
Well,
and rocks.
what we lift is hay bales for a
Yeah.
long time. Just throwing them on the trailer and just get fed full protein. Question 2, shall we?
yes.
I think I know.
I think question one
actually
went well.
I am just gonna say, like, I am trending towards a 4 now that we're talking.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
he's a 7.
I think one more whiskey. I think you're gonna hit
I think I
5.
might get
Start with
there.
the 1
I think
and
that-
4.
No, I said above a 1, no doubt. And then I was like, 3, and then I think I'm going 4.
Okay, so let's go number 2. This one, a lot of people out here are gonna really judge you on this one.
Did Zach Patterson make a comment yet? That's
Zach
my guy.
Patterson, where do you stand on this?
Damn it, Zach!
Zach, will you please let us know where you live on a kind of a 1 to 10?
You were my
on this?
101 guy.
Out in New Mexico, they gotta be running this.
Oh,
Like
they have red.
an Indian
have you ever
squash.
seen? Have you ever seen The Hills Have Eyes? I'm talking about those were real. That story was associated on real people. You're telling me that those people can't be a little bit hairier and be associated with Sasquatch?
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
William says you're in for a 7 by the end of the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so question number 2. UFOs.
Oh hell yeah! Oh, we're just seeing that in the last couple months. There's the military, the Air Force.
Amen. The Tic Tac. Are you
yeah,
telling me Tic Tac ain't real?
Amen to all my little the Joe Rogan fans out there, all the crazy people he brings on. Dude, yes.
What are you talking about?
UFOs and the Joe Rogan podcast. He brings on these like crazy ass people that worked at Area 51 that are just like, hey,
Bob
listen,
Lazar.
I can't really talk about this, but I can tell you what I saw was not human made. UFOs, but I don't think it's a bad thing either. I think it's a cool thing to think that we're not alone, not in the sense of like, I think movies in Hollywood have altered our thinking on what a UFO truly is. I just think the answer is yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the question is, of all the alien movies that exist, which do you think is the most realistic?
Predator.
Oh.
The Predator.
You're in a Predator push?
I think Close Encounters is probably the closest.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper!
Run! I remember my dad used to watch
If it bleeds, it can die.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
So you think Predator? That's the closest you think?
Alien Zach is 100% in.
You're still a zero?
on it.
Nah, it's like
UFO.
I did
Yeah,
provide you
yeah.
with spectacular proof that
You
there,
did.
we can't think that we're the only
man.
ones.
There's
Zach
no
Patterson
doubt.
lives a half hour away from Roswell.
Oh.
Zach
That
Patterson.
exists, man.
Guy just keeps coming through in the clutch.
Dude. he's
So,
the man.
so here was my theory, because it's kind of that you have to kind of wrap your arms around the size of the universe, right? So I started doing a little research because I saw this deal that mapped out the Milky Way, which we're in, right? And the Milky Way had, what was it? Like 400 billion exoplanets, but it was like 400 billion planets in the Milky Way.
Yep.
So then
Sam
it was like,
Fennell can help us.
then it was like, okay, so then how many galaxies are there? If the Milky Way has 400 billion planets in it, then how many galaxies are there? There was, the Hubble Telescope predicts or suggests 100 billion galaxies. And in our galaxy is potentially 400 billion planets. And then they said once technology of telescopes advanced, that it may identify up to 200 billion galaxies. So we can't be the only one.
This guy needs a joint, man.
I'm telling you, dude.
I don't even think you want to be the only
Bro.
ones. How lame is that to be like, yeah, we're the only ones? But I also, again, want to go back to, like, I don't think these aliens are coming here to, like, kill us all. I think it's more, you mentioned that movie, I gotta get my boy
Close Encounters.
Close Encounters. McConaughey, what was it, Interstellar? That aspect of like travel through time that we always can kind of come back. Like we might be the UFO, and we just don't even kind of know it because of the time theory and all that world we live in. But absolutely, UFO being a unidentified flying object. Yeah, like there's some shit we don't know. Explain. I mean,
how do you explain how
Look
Sam
at Sam Smith.
like
I put documented proof there.
And he
Sam
was-
Smith's an alien.
Yeah.
And I also believe that redheads are aliens.
I have the most
there's-
redhead sister.
That's
that
what
you-
these guys
There's redheads. So that why do redheads all come together and they're plotting something? I'll tell you right now.
Hell yeah!
Look,
that's all over the world.
And they
there's
can't
redhead
be, and they can't
conventions.
be out in the sun for very long. Like they're very like
the skin
hell
thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Most of them are in
yeah.
entertainment and in the artsy world.
None of them have blue eyes either.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
Or
point.
brown eyes.
That's a good
It's always
point.
green eyes.
I'm just glad you.
What do you say? Can we get you to a 1? What's it going to take to get
What's
you
it
to a
gonna
1
take?
tonight?
No. It's already like we just released documents though, like and video.
Y'all transition from UFOs, which was the question, to aliens, which I know they're.
Well, somebody's got to fly this thing.
I get it, but
So unidentified flying object though, like you got to be like, okay, even if it's a human flying it right now, like you can't identify all the objects flying in them.
no.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you have a $18 million F-18 flying, and then I got a picture of this UFO, and it's all green as fuck. When I can take a picture with
Hang
my
on.
iPhone 12, and it's clear as hell, 4K.
Hang on. Did you watch?
No,
You didn't.
probably not.
I sent you a link. I
Yeah, I
sent
did
you a
watch it,
link
yes.
of Lex Friedman
Yes,
speaking with David Fravor. Did you listen to that?
probably.
If you did, it'd be a 1.
Yeah.
He didn't listen to it.
Some bitch.
But
Did you watch the David Fravor
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Is there pictures and videos?
It is.
It's an object going up and down quicker than they could even put a frame on.
Just listen to
What?
it.
I
Oh,
don't know about all that.
naysay,
Yeah.
naysay.
Then what are they doing at Area 51?
Does it even exist?
Yeah, like no, like
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I'm from El
well,
Paso.
you-
I'm
yeah,
close
exactly.
by. Yeah.
Zach Patterson, does Area 51?
You know what?
Zach,
I'm
we need
100% on aliens. Illegal aliens.
Oh, from El Paso.
Yeah. He sees them all the
He's
time.
got a backyard full of these guys.
Yeah. Some of them look like Sasquatch.
They're not grays, they're
Yeah,
brown.
they're
All right,
very
let's
brown,
move
yeah.
on, shall we?
Yeah. Number 3, Brandon.
Somebody's got to fly the some bitch. Thanks, Zach Patterson. Put that on a t-shirt. That t-shirt will drop soon.
So can I ask let me ask just a production question. So if we wanted to do like the big 3 and have a shirt made, what's a production run that you have to do in order to create a custom?
Like how many units?
Yeah.
We would have to do 200 units, which we can
So
do.
we could
units.
sell 200.
We could sell 200.
I'm thinking if we just had Sasquatch, and we have an alien ship, and then number 3. Why don't you give them number 3?
We could have that in 35 days.
I'll do the design. I'll do it. I swear to God, I'll do the design. And if you had like a lot of those, you know the lines when you look at like topographic maps that has like those little contour lines.
Yeah.
You could run that, and then just you could put them in there.
And then save that design because Jeremy with Vulcan, he could laser that shit on my gun.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting some.
Sasquatch is flying a UFO. That's all we're at right now.
We could sell it.
There's one more question.
For those of you guys that watch Cigar Talk Live on Tuesday nights, tell me you wouldn't buy a shirt that's got the big
we
3.
could move to it.
I'd go back to polos just for that.
Yeah.
Hey, button downs.
Zach is good. Zach's in for 10.
Yeah, button downs at 10.
Zach is buying
Did you do
10.
button downs?
We did, yeah. But, so when we first started, we kind of outkicked our coverage because we didn't have a damn clue how this industry was going to play us. But we have over 6 samples of button downs. So our ideas was, guys, it was back to the relaxed look where people never liked long sleeves, going back to the hairiness. But yeah, a button down is a lot classier. And we do have all motivation and plans to produce button downs because
I like internal button downs on golf shirts. I have some golf shirts with a button on the inside.
Zach Patterson already committed to buy 10.
He's in for 10.
Okay.
I'm in for.
This sounds like it sounds like a collaboration project. To be honest.
We're doing it.
We're
All
in.
right, so let's get him number 3 so he knows what the third character is that's going to be on the shirt.
The Cigars and Guns shirt club. I have a shirt club. Boom.
Oh, you gave me my shirt club.
Well,
I'll open it on Saturday.
The third question is not like the Loch Ness Monster or something like that.
No,
No, way
not
more
right.
believable.
too easy.
Way more believable. No.
Because that does exist.
I think
We know 100%
I
anyway.
use that for a French guy.
Yeah.
He got very upset about
I
that.
hate it, man. Fuck.
The last question, he really started getting quite French on us, didn't he?
Yeah.
The last question is a two-parter, but we start with the easy. Scale 1 to 10. How you feeling about ghosts? Ghosts as in apparitions.
So my mom is like borderline crazy.
Okay, good. Or
so
Catholic?
Like,
Is that what you say?
Or
Catholic?
Catholic.
Borderline Catholic?
Catholic, Italian,
Oh,
little.
yes,
Yo, she was like a stay-home mom with like 3 kids. My brother listened to like Guns N' Roses, Pearl Jam was the biggest rebel, had the bandana, never listened to shit. My sister was an alien redhead.
Yep.
And then I came out and just no rules.
You're Sasquatch.
Yeah,
so
I'm
you can really
Sasquatch,
cover the whole
yeah.
spectrum.
So, yeah.
So she was burning sage in the house? Is that what you were trying to
Oh,
say?
sage, not only like religion, but it was like these philosophical books that we had to like pay attention to.
The rosary.
Oh, everything. We had to carry it in our pocket. I used to go to church every day, all boys school. I had a great childhood. Now that I just said it like that, I feel like I'm a real boy.
It set you up for this moment though, so thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
So where are you sitting on the ghosts?
Like I can't tell you. Like it was definitely more than 5 times. My mom, like, you hear that? Stairs, someone's up the stairs. So like you started getting like associated with like, yo, maybe there is something up there. I'm terrified of the fucking attic because I'm like, yo, there's someone there. Like there's a ghost. Like just watching my shit. And then I hate scary movies. I can't even watch scary trailers.
I can't. I'm not a scary movie
Oh,
guy.
I watched The Outsiders was a HBO show. It just came on. It was fucking nuts. It was all about this like novel, and there was this like one scene where Jason Bateman was in it. Zach, you've seen it, obviously. And it was freaky, and it was like he possessed other bodies. Ghost. Oof. Can we like tinkle into?
So
like,
there's
good
it's
ghosts
a
or
2-part
bad ghosts?
question.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, hold it.
Yeah.
He's figuring out good ghosts, bad ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh,
good ghosts,
okay,
bad
all right,
ghosts.
okay.
Yeah, like, are we talking about like Casper the Friendly Ghost?
No, we're talking ghosts. Mom.
Ghosts, like, rah, like I remember.
like what just slammed that door? What is that? What's that shadow going across the deal?
Apparitions. Physical representations.
I believe that there are spirits that kind of fuck with us. the living. Yeah. Like, I believe there are people or souls that walk
Zach
around.
Patterson is with you.
Yeah. Thank you, Zach. I'm a man. Hey, Zach, you get that 10 for free when they come out. But I
No, you don't. No,
yeah,
you don't.
Just kidding. Wholesale that bitch. No. I truly believe that, yes, there are souls that are, I don't want to say stuck, like in misery, walking this earth, but like guardian angels, ghosts, Casper the Friendly Ghost. I do think there are some like fucked up ghosts that like play pranks on us and like close that door. Like, whoo. Like, I don't want to, I do not like those ghosts because I was the type of kid, grew up in a house, I had a basement. People in Texas and the South, they don't understand shit about a basement.
Oh, basements
I was the
are the
kid,
worst.
the light switch was at the bottom, so you had to close the switch. I would shoot up the stairs because my crazy ass mom would always be like, there's ghosts in the house. And 1,000, like, this is a 10 times a 10, there are ghosts. Like, not walking, they're just floating around. They're floating around.
Okay, so that gets into the second part.
Yeah.
Of the spirits.
Spirits.
So are you more on the spirit side where maybe the energy's here but the apparition isn't? Or are you more on the ghost side where they flip that light switch off on you because you're a punk bitch and you're downstairs?
I was a punk bitch. Probably still am.
I still am.
I am scared of like the bunnies that go around my garden. I'm like, oh shit, where are you? Scared of snakes. The spirits, absolutely. Like, do I feel like it's my uncle or my granddaddy like looking after me? Like, a little bit, but spirits that have the best intentions to. For example, I was weightlifting yesterday in my garage, and my daughter was, she's 15 months old. She's walking around. She loves when daddy's working out because it's very rare. And I was putting up the weights. I swear to God, my kid's head went right through the weight. And a guardian angel or a spirit was like, oh, you're about to have a fucked up day, or I'm just going to push your daughter's head just a little further, and you're not going to go to the ER right now. So I do believe in the energy aspect of things, like karma, that can rejuvenize what we do and how we experience life.
So
for sure.
can I piggyback off of that?
No doubt, yeah.
I was in my garage getting ready to put Alessi in the car seat, my oldest. And I I take my kids, as any good father does, and I throw them as high as I possibly can.
And walk away.
And then walk away. But I was getting ready to do that before I put her in the car seat, and I grabbed her, and I went to throw her, and when I went to throw her, it felt like something stopped me, and when I looked up, it was the corner of the scaffolding of the garage that was above her head. I would have thrusted her head and most certainly whacked that wide open. But it was just like it was like something was there going, yeah, you're not throwing. It just, maybe it was just reaction, but that kid was flying and it just stopped. That's interesting you say that because I've never said that because I definitely didn't tell that to my wife.
Oh yeah.
So this is the first time I've ever said that.
Yeah.
But I still think about that, like how close I was to just splitting that wig wide open.
No doubt.
Right up on the top.
So William Treadwell's coming in and says, if I ever make it down, I'll tell you a ghost story.
Cannot.
Yeah,
wait.
you're going to be a
See
guest
you next
on this show.
Yeah.
So we're cooking through these. This is good.
Yeah.
So number 4.
It's the bonus.
4 is a bonus question.
I mean, you've passed so far.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like I've been asked a lot of questions. Maybe I could ask you all a question.
Sure, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Unless you guys, I'll wait till the next one.
No.
I'm in the queue.
All right, well then this should be a quick one. And the question is, what is your spirit animal?
Bigfoot.
Zach Patterson.
Yeah. So I kid you not. Zach. What are we? I kid you not. So I am a hairy dude, and you rarely see it. I've never seen it, but I have a huge gorilla and a lion tattooed on my back. Yeah.
A gorilla lion?
A gorilla fighting a lion.
Damn.
And the first person to ask me was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "It's my parents fighting like they always do." And they're just trying to find their way. Spirit animal. I'm very in your face. I'm very aggressive. I'm very fast paced. I'm a different person than I was growing up. But I like to think that.
Thank God, just because the prison is already at capacity.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah.
I
Thank God I didn't go to prison. It's so crowded now.
I would say a gorilla. I would be a gorilla because growing up, like all boys school, like my teachers were ex veterans, whether Navy, Air Force, Army, a lot of Marines, and climbing trees, building forts. I was always up in trees doing certain things, and just I think the way gorillas also take care of like their own, like that type of parenting is encompassing of who I am as a person, just and the community aspect of things. I very protective as well of my own. So yeah, I think that aspect of things.
Gorilla.
Yeah,
Pretty
gorilla.
solid.
Like that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's really
Looks good. You have a question for us?
I have a question for all three and Zach Patterson.
Yeah, Zach.
Shout out to my boy. But so I'm very grateful to be on the show and the participants joining in. But as you guys know, I do run a clothing brand called Fore Fathers, and I know that you guys are all dads yourselves. What's the best thing about being a dad, and what's the hardest thing you've had to give up in order to be a good dad?
Great question.
Shout out to all my dads out there.
Yeah.
Shit's hard.
Well, I'm the first one to say that being a dad is the greatest job on earth, and that true wealth is measured by the quality of and character of your kids. And so for that, I have ridiculous wealth. And I just think that I feel bad for the kids that have parents that had them and felt that it was an inconvenience because it threw off their schedule, their partying, they're doing their events, and the kids ended up being spectators, and then they ended up going out and doing the same stupid shit. So I think I get to do it in hindsight because my kids are all grown and I'm watching him be a dad, and if you just try to do it right, show them work ethic, show them honesty, show them integrity, show them character, build that into them, then it's the greatest result in life you can have. That's what I believe. So the thing to give up, the answer to that question is I'll give up anything. Doesn't matter. I'll give them anything. The lung, the heart, whatever they need to survive and have a good time and live their life out, I'll give it. So I've probably given in the past. To me, it didn't feel like giving. It just felt like it's what is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So
You've always had that mentality to apply.
always.
And now, I don't know how real this podcast has ever gotten, but like, were those characteristics that were provided to you and shown to you by your own dad, or did you alter the course?
I had a dad that was out of the scene when I was 2, and then my mom remarried when I was 12. And my dad, I call him my dad, my stepdad was very quiet, spent most of his time working, so I probably learned his work ethic. But I think this was, for me it was more being hyper-focused on what does it take for me to be a good dad, not as much as replicating what my dads did. What's interesting is my dad, once the boys started playing football, I played football, I played basketball, he never came to a game. He was always working, but he never missed a practice. He never a practice, let alone a game. It was always on the sidelines for the game. So, he wasn't going to miss it again. And for me, I took over a football team just so I could have the best seat in the house. I didn't like dealing with the parents in coaching football. Parents fuck up everything, but I just wanted to have the best seat in the house to watch my kids play and have a good time. So I think I formulated what I thought was the right thing to do, and I think I take great pride when people here get a chance to meet the boys, all 3 of them, and to say you've done a good job with these kids. To me, that's the greatest reward. $1 million in one hand and that in the other, I'll take that. Any day.
That's great. That's crazy, man. And honestly, it just goes to show that a dad doesn't necessarily have to be your DNA, but yet the mentor that has instilled confidence, virtues, and values that you go deploy to the rest of the world and exercise day in and day out to be the man that has now injected that same type of motivation, work ethic into your children. It just goes to show that a lot of people don't even take ownership of it, and because we are very selfish human beings, just into the core of who we are, but yet to be selfless is remarkable. So I really like that. I really like that answer.
What about you, Abe?
Yeah, so very similar to Pops and to a testament to Dave, which is, but everyone here calls him Pops, right? So of his 3 sons, I feel like he has many other children here, but very similar. My parents divorced at 4. I had a stepdad that came into our life that was my role model, and I learned my work ethic from him. And my goal for my children, which are adults now, is just to create a better life for them than what I had growing up.
Yes.
What'd you have to give up?
Yeah, same thing.
Things.
Anything.
You just give up
anything
things.
and everything. Yeah.
But things don't matter.
Oh no.
You know, it just, there are some people that are when you have people that are very materialistic,
Yeah.
that you see that filters and sticks to your kids quickly. I mean, because I'm in the oil business, I know a lot of very wealthy people, and I've seen the result, their kids as the result of that, and their kids have a tendency to be more focused on what watch they're wearing, what car they're driving when they're 16, things like that. None of that shit matters. You know, it just doesn't matter. You're a new dad. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the greatest thing about having kids is purpose. I think only a parent understands purpose. And for me, it was, although my grandparents are great people to me, my dad is the first generation of greatness in our family. He is true greatness. And it's, for me, I realize my kids can't be the third turn. They can't be the ones who let it fall. You know, so my purpose is by driving the same work ethic into my kids and respect, and it's always such a beautiful thing to go to my kids' open house on Saturday and have 2 of the teachers give me their phone number to want to watch the kids. Okay, cool. This is okay. I think I'm doing something right. I think Ale and I are doing something right. They're the only kids in the entire school that say please and thank you without fail. Okay, something's going right. So for me, it's all of this work and effort and passion and all of that means jack shit if it doesn't make it to my kids. My passion or my purpose is to realize that I have the conversation with Alessi last night why I can't put her to sleep because I got to go to work. You understand why we work, right? Because we want to have experiences together, and we got to keep the lights on, we got to stay fed, we've got to create our legacy. All of those things that a single person, single friends don't understand. They don't understand what work means. They don't understand what effort means because it's very fucking hard to do it with a smile. It's very hard.
You can tell my family, and I've said this 100 times, we don't do lazy well. So if I see laziness, it just rubs me hard the wrong way. Yeah. I want to just kick them in the ass and give them one of my 2-hour speeches.
Yeah,
but
and it's important. But I think from the things that you have to give up, you only have to give them up for a certain period of time because they're going to come back. It's like, what are some things I like to give that I'm giving up? Maybe I'm not on the bike as much, or maybe I can't get into something quite as much. But in the end, it's going to come back. We'll be able to, one day soon, we'll be able to drive together, for the 2 of us to race together, to be on the track, to do some of these things that are fun. But just like what we were talking about earlier, you've got to be horizon vision. You've got to be setting yourself.
Yeah, don't look
set
back.
your kids up for my dad always worked. My parents always worked their ass off, and that the give it up is only a parent knows. Only a parent knows. I don't, and I think Dave Chappelle talked about that. It's like being a parent unlocks a level of love that is unable for people who don't have kids. And Zach Patterson's actually a new father, so he understands that the heaviness of watching your kid the first time and holding her and going, she's gonna watch me die.
Yeah.
It's like, or having kids right now. My oldest at 5, I can't die.
Yeah.
I cannot die right now. Because if I die now, my daughter will have never known their dad. My 2-year-old would have never known their dad. My 5-year-old would say, yeah, my dad died young. I can't die. And the heaviness of that, to realize that I have decades I have to take care of myself and just make sure I'm straight, is a gift. It's a gift.
Was it? Yeah, I mean, that's all real shit, by the way. You can tell.
Thanks for bringing that up too, because it's obviously something we're pretty passionate about.
But it's. I'll transition your adjective lazy when you see laziness, but it to me when I see a dad neglecting being a dad, I'm just like, dude,
you understand?
Like you're missing out, like. Because you're missing out on a world that does kind of suck, because you do have to give up your time, you do have to be selfless, and you have to provide for these other things. But, like, to see your kid just look back at you and just, like, smile for no fucking reason, you're just like, oh, shit. All right, we can go another day with this.
Yeah.
Just make sure you do that tomorrow, because you're going to energize my battery quicker than anything. Hitting a hole-in-one or hitting a last-second buzzer beater in basketball, throwing a touchdown pass, whatever. But just to get that kid to look back and be like, yo, I have no idea what this fucking world is, but I'm just going to look to you and be like, I trust you with everything. Please put me on a path that I can be successful.
Yeah.
And
is there a feeling that that's better than when you kick the door open, you hear your kids like, Papa, Papa, you hear them in the echo, and then all of a sudden they come ripping around the corner, and they're excited to see you like a lab. It's like, oh my God, you're here.
And it's funny too, because like I'll even bring up a whole other scenario, and you guys can chime in because you're actually the outsiders of this. And what's not unfortunate to me, but I'm in a category where I've experienced fatherhood during COVID. So to be able to go upstairs, work, to provide for my family, but to have the opportunity to open that door and just go play with my daughter, feed my daughter, give my wife a break, play, and just to mentor her. Did you ever have that when your boys were so young? And to not capitalize.
I was a traveling salesman too. So.
You know, not capitalize on the opportunity to not only provide and put food, energy, power at your house, but to instill those characteristics at such a young age. And I'm a big meme guy. I think we all are kind of transitioning into that as well. But one of the best memes I've ever seen is the countdown from when your kid is born to they're 18, and it subtracts every year. So it like starts at like 16,000, then it goes to like 15,000, and it keeps shrinking. And you're like, fuck. And then by the time your kid's a teenager, you're like, damn, I wish I just didn't care about not only the materialistic things, but yet my schedule, my routine, my selfishness of where I applied and spent my time. And I'm very honored and humbled to have the opportunity during COVID. I know COVID has impacted parents and people many different ways, but there is something very cool happening right now where dads are more hands-on than ever. I mean, changing diapers, warming bottles.
Unfortunately, the counter to that is there was also a record number of divorces,
and
abuse
violence,
and things like that. There was a lot of that. I remember when my other two boys are twins. And I remember going in and they were in first grade, and the teacher told me, she goes, your twins they're just not at grade level for reading and math and their alphabet and stuff. They're just not where the other kids are at. And I said, are they respectful to you? Yes, we can teach them the other stuff. I just want to know, if they're little shits, I need to know.
How's their character?
But how do they act around? And they're like, oh, they're the first ones to help. They're the first ones to do all that stuff. So look, math is, the phone will do that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We have machines.
Spell check. We got spell check now. I got it.
So with that,
I think we had a lot of thank you guys, and one of our favorite people on the entire planet, who's probably in Germany somewhere, Luciano. We love you, and can't wait for you to get back. And Zach, and welcome to fatherhood.
Yes.
It's the greatest job in the world.
And it's a journey.
Yep, it is. Go buy shopforefathers.com, Forefathers.com.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And be a good dad. First and foremost. Give a shit.
Yeah,
The best advice I've ever gotten in my life was suck less. So many people are so average and they suck. Just suck less. Suck less than they're.
And you'll beat everybody.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing when you start pursuing not only your dreams and goals, because I think that's a very cliche thing, but just suck less in the aspect of things of like, yo, if they're not going to do it, well, I am. And then think like Russell Wilson. Everybody remembers that quote. Like, why not? Why not be the best fucking dad and husband you can be? You don't need to be a sleazeball anymore. We all crack jokes and stuff, but represent who you want to be, because
because that's who you want your kids to be.
And you said it beautifully too, because hopefully I've altered where I'm going. Yeah.
With that, suck less, be a good dad. Amen.
Amen. See you guys Saturday at the shop, and next Tuesday night, right here.
Peace.
There you guys.
It's a lot of fun. You guys do it every Tuesday. It's awesome.
And we are off.
Well,
that was fun.
Yeah.
That was really good.
That was fun.
Might have been our best shot.
Yeah, that was fun.
A lot of good comments coming in.
Yeah, unfortunately, on the